Indoctrination. This is the foundation for the feminist theory of gender socialization. That theory is one of the many pillars that support the feminist ideal that men, their masculinity, and natural instincts are at the root of all the problems every society on the planet faces. We can travel the world with this theory later, but for now, let's focus on Western societies. Feminist texts state that gender roles, the traditional positions men and women held in family structures a century ago, are filled by males and females who have been force-fed the ideals of those roles since birth. According to feminists, men and women are metaphorical descriptions of males and females whose only differences are the minor differences in their brains and bodily features. I'm sure there was a time when feminists denied the now proven differences in the male and female brain to support their theories. However, now faced with scientific facts, they do what most radicals will do when their ideas are proven to be wrong. They brush the facts aside as insignificant and continue on with their propaganda. G.I. Joe action figures and Barbie dolls are some of the atrocities feminists claim help further the indoctrination of our youth. However, when we set aside the obvious nonsense, we can see the point these aggravated women and guilt-stricken men are trying to shed light upon. Young boys are usually given toys that depict and support an aggressive nature, while dolls and easy-bake ovens are marketed to young girls. Is this a form of indoctrination? Feminists sure do think so. However, if we broaden the view of how the majority of boys and girls behave in their youth, we can see the traits that complement Joe and Barbie. Let a young boy loose with other boys and they will almost always engage in some form of physical activity for fun. This is also true for girls. When young, all children run and jump and swing and play. However, when things get too rough, as they usually do with children, Joe will usually rise from the tempers of the young boys, while Barbie will watch from the sidelines. Is this true for all boys and girls? Of course not, but logic usually favors the majority. Young women are influenced by the media to be homemakers, while men are encouraged to seek scientific or political fame. This was true a century ago. It is not today. If all men and women followed the ideals of what adults were supposed to strive for presented in the media, then the West will be dominated with fat, lazy, and indeed mentally retarded men who did nothing but crack open a beer and watch a never-ending cycle of The Game, while every woman would be a smart, sassy, and successful diva whose every word and whim did something that bettered the world. Now, if you nodded your head to those words thinking, that's exactly how it is now, then congratulations, you're a feminist. I'm not doing this to change the unchangeable minds of radical feminists. This is for the undecided and unbiased men and women who don't give a damn about feminism, humanists, men's rights activists, or any gender issues, but are just a little curious, as I once was. The ideals and beliefs of feminists rarely concern me. However, this belief is a major reason why Western legal systems have been contaminated with the infectious double standards of feminism. When a woman calls the police because her husband or boyfriend has hit her, the police will race down the streets, sirens blaring, and when they arrive, will rightfully arrest the perpetrator of the domestic violence. However, when a man calls the police because his wife or girlfriend has hit him, the police will creep down the streets, making sure they don't run any red lights. When they arrive, they will, according to the primary aggressor section of VAWA, rightfully arrest the individual who can cause the most bodily harm to the other. When a man calls the police because his wife or girlfriend is stabbed and or hit him with several blunt objects, the police will race down the streets, sirens blaring, and when they arrive will, according to the feminist theory of gender socialization, arrest the man who knows from his indoctrination that he is superior to women, and the only reason she could be trying to kill him must be because of something he did. Does this sound unconstitutional? It sure does. This is why feminist-run domestic violence shelters are being sued and losing for discrimination against men. Are the different attitudes people have toward life a social construct, or are they just natural instincts? This argument couldn't be solved without a major global experiment that spans thousands of years. Scientists would have to gather a male and a female from every race and place them on different land masses, isolating them from each other. Next, scientists would need to strip these males and females of any human technology and all knowledge of it. Finally, the scientists would need to sit back and watch these males and females do their thing. They would need to study what they would do given harsh environmental conditions and dangerous wildlife. They would need to study the artifacts the civilization spawned from these males and females would leave behind. Then, From all of this overwhelming evidence, scientists will be able to conclude the different roles males and females would adopt to survive. Scientists would also be able to observe what a male and a female would instinctually do given these conditions, since there will be no G.I. Joe and no Barbie to guide their outlooks on life. Wait, I think nature already did that experiment, and in the process has placed the feminist theory of gender socialization where it rightfully belongs. File 13.